Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about 5 more audiobooks that I have read recently. 3 of these books are new to me books, 2 of them are rereads, so we'll touch on them with varying levels of depth in terms of story review. We're going to kick off with A Love Most Fatal by Kath, which is the first book in the Morelli family series and is amazing. It's delightful. This is narrated by Tim Page and Kelsey Navarro Foster. Yes, Foster. And I received a review copy from NetGalley, so I was really appreciative to receive that because it meant that I got to reread one of my favorite books of the year. If you're unfamiliar with A Love Most Fatal, it is the story of a female mafia boss who falls for her nephew's teacher and then ends up having to protect him because by dating her or going out on a single date with her puts his life in danger. It is a really fun, fast-paced story. The tagline is a mafia rom-com and it really has that kind of feeling. There is a lot of depth to the story, but it does have a lot of lighthearted moments and a lot of really cool family elements woven into it as well. Vanessa is a really fantastic female lead. She's very strong, she's very competent, but she leans on her family. The audiobook for it was fantastic and was just really wonderful to go back to the story. Next on the list is The Winners by Fredrik Backman. Now this is quite a long book. It was a book that I wanted to finish because it's the 3rd book in the Beartown series and it was a series that I wanted to finish this year. Marin Island, I think, does a great job with the narration in the story, and being the 3rd book in a series, it's kind of hard to talk about the specifics of The Winners in terms of its own individual story because it's so connected to the first 2 books and therefore really spoilery. But essentially we are in a small town, Beartown, which is hockey obsessed. It is one of their biggest things that they focus on because there's not a lot of jobs, there's not a lot of prospects, etc. Except if you are good at hockey, it means that the kids will have an opportunity to get out. However, the hockey team in Beartown has not been great for many years. In book 1, we are dealing with controversial decisions that are made around the team after one of the stars on the team sexually assaults a member of the community. And not just that, but the daughter of someone who is very prevalent in running the hockey team. That has a massive flow-on effect through the entire series. And so now, even years later in The Winners, Beartown is still dealing with the ramifications of that. And the town is, there's more people in town to reinvigorate the teams and the rink and trying to up the profile even more, but there's also a lot of financial manipulation going on in the background and there's so many different players involved there. They're trying to find the weakness of everyone else, which again is in turn impacting everyone around them. If you do go into the series, which is fantastic, it is really well written. It's dealing with a lot of heavy topics from sexual assault to murder, death, violence. There's a lot of gun violence in this book as well, so be mindful of that. But it is so well done and so well told that even I, as someone who tends to steer away from books that are this heavy, I think this series is incredible and well worth picking up. And I've got to dive into a bit more of Fredrik Backman's backlist because I really do enjoy his writing style. Then I read The Undead Fox of Deadwood Forest by Aubrey Hartman. And this book, I think it was Ashley from Realm of Kidlit Comics who mentioned this book. I had found the audio on Libby. It's narrated by Marissa Kalin. And this is a really wonderful kind of emotional gut punch of a book in the middle grade category. So Claire is the undead fox of Deadwood Forest, and this is kind of an in-between world. Part of Claire's job is to ferry souls to their next life, and they take this job very seriously. And it's a very solitary job that he has taken since he himself was struck by a car and caught in kind of that in-between world, given the choice to continue on or to do the ferrying of souls. His life is very predictable. It follows a very set order of things until a soul called Ginger Snipes appears in Deadwood Forest. And Ginger Snipes' presence really disturbs the very ordered life that Claire has created for themselves. Things start to go a little bit pear-shaped, and in turn this causes a lot of feelings from Claire to kind of emerge and to deal with, and the whole book is just, it's so beautiful. I need to get my hands on a physical copy of it because I really loved it, and this is one I would love to come back and read with my eyeballs as well as listen to the audio because I feel like I would be going back in and highlighting and annotating this book quite a bit. So yes, highly recommend that one if you are still enjoying middle grade fiction, although I think anyone would enjoy this one. Then there is The Wolf at the Door by Charlie Adhara, which is the Big Bad Wolf book 1. This one was narrated by Eric Bloomquist and was a book I saw recommended by Juliet Fox Reads on Instagram. It kind of appealed to me because I have read Charlie Adhara in the past, although not recently, and this is one of their earlier titles, I believe. We are following Cooper and Oliver. One is a federal police officer, the other is a wolf shifter. Traditionally, these roles are considered enemies because the wolf shifter community or the supernatural community is kind of at odds with the human world in this story. But what happens at the beginning of this book is that a member of the shifter community goes missing and is presumed dead. And so Cooper and Oliver are brought together on a supernatural task force to try and track down and figure out what's going on, where this missing community member has been taken, etc. And so they are forced into close proximity, working together and having to understand each other and each other's perspectives. And that's where the romance kind of element comes into it. Again, this is a book I would like to also read with my eyeballs and continue the series because I did enjoy the first book. I will admit though, I was probably slightly distracted when I did read it when I was listening to it the first time because I was at a hockey weekend, but I did enjoy it enough that I want to come back to it because I love all this stuff when you have supernatural politics and the real world and how everything fits together. There's a lot of double crossing and a lot of people who you thought were allies who are not allies, and like I love that stuff. The last book I'm going to mention is a reread, but it's a book that I haven't read in years, Seven Ancient Wonders by Matthew Riley. So this is the first book in the Jack West Jr. series. It was narrated by Sean Mangan, and this book is about a group of international representatives who are following a prophecy. So there is a prophecy that only takes place every however many years. If you are able to solve all of the puzzles in this prophecy, the country that gets there first has X number of years of peace. Like no one can attack them, etc. Like it's just invisible protection for that place. And so you have the US vying for it, you have the UK vying for it, I think there's another group, and then there's this little ragtag group of a multi-nation group that are just trying to stop one of the big superpowers from getting this protection because they're terrified of what will happen if that happens, because sure, me too. And so there's representatives from lots of little smaller nations and they set off on this quest. So there's a lot of world traveling, there's a lot of puzzles and quests and booby traps and things as they are trying to find all of the 7 ancient wonders of the world to get all of the pieces of the capstone of the Great Pyramid in order to be able to kind of halt this prophecy in its place before anyone is able to complete the ritual at the appropriate time. It was kind of fun to come back to this world because I haven't been in it for a while, and while I think there are definitely things that could be improved on in Matthew Riley's works now as an adult who's read many books, I still love his writing style. It's very fast-paced, it's very action movie-like in terms of its writing style, and it makes for a really fun time to read it. I really do like the characters in his books. So do I think it's perfect? No, but do I think it's still a fun read? Of course. Like I think they're just good things to reread or put on in the background as an audiobook or something like that because you know that you're going to be able to follow the story very easily. And those are the last 5 audiobooks. I do have a few more that I've already started the next list for, so stay tuned for those. Otherwise, in the comments, I'd love to know, have you read any of these books or are you planning on picking any of them up? Feel free to let me know down below. If you just want to let me know that you're here but you don't leave a comment, feel free to leave an autumn leaf emoji in the comments. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.